Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. Good to be back. Trust me, after all I've been through, we have been sick since before Thanksgiving. We missed Thanksgiving with our family because we were sick.
We've been sick since Thanksgiving.
Yep. And Christmas and New Year's. We ended up bringing in 2023 into 2024 sick as a dog. So unbelievable. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. Just take one day at a time. But yeah, me and my wife both. My son come home Tuesday before New Year's, and he had influenza type A. He gave it to me. Now, Nancy did not get influenza type A at that time. Actually, she took care of both me and Cameron. For the love of God, I don't know why she didn't get it. Maybe she's had it before in her life, and this strain she was used to. But like I said, she was still kind of well. But me and Cameron were really sick. I laid in bed Friday, Saturday. I got it Thursday night, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with just fevers and chills. And then finally Monday, I started feeling better. So.
And by the way, Len's handcrafted wood sign says, "Hey, look, it's really Russ."
Yeah, it is. I'm alive. I'm still kicking. I don't know how, because welcome to Let's Talk Deathly 3 with Russ.
Right?
Yeah. It's been a rough road. Trust me. I have never in my life been this sick and missed all three. But once your immune system gets compromised, which ours is definitely has, being back-to-back sicknesses, it's just anything and everything will jump on you. And that's it has happened. Trust me. It has happened. So, but anyway, it landed Cameron, my son, up in the hospital, which I posted, and he was in there for a couple of days, but he responded. He had pneumonia. It went into his lungs. It hasn't went into my lungs, and they kept him in there for 3 days, but he responded very, very good to the antibiotics they gave him. So he was able to come home in 3 days. So.
I wonder how Aussie Man is feeling right now. I don't see.
Yeah, Aussie Man. He is. Whenever I posted that we were sick, and then my son went to the hospital, Aussie Man texted me or private messaged me and said that he had been sick for the last couple of weeks himself.
Yeah.
So, and he said he was really, really sick like us. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I talked to him. He did say, I think this afternoon, I think he PM'd me and asked me if I was going to do the show. Let me look real quick. Oh, yeah, he asked me if there's a show tonight. So I didn't respond to him. I was laying down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got it right. Deathly Tales of Russ 3. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't ever want to go through this again. Ever. Anyway, I PM'd Awesome Man. Hopefully we'll see him here before too long.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, he said he was very sick too, and that I wouldn't doubt. Anyway, thank you for being out there. Heirloom Game Calls, JJE, Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Shop.
JJE.
Dan, I think Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworks is here. So thank y'all all for being here. It'll take me a few weeks I feel, and we're going to try to. I'm going to try to stay at home. We order in, and my doctor also does these. Stay inside, away from everybody. Even wear a mask around my son now. But they give these infusion IVs that's supposed to have vitamins and all antioxidants and all the stuff to help you get better or whatever. So I'm going to call and order one of those and go have it. See if that'll help start my immune system back. Plus, don't trust me. I already told the guys we've been taking all the vitamins we can take. Matter of fact, I'm sometimes I think I'm pooping a vitamin. I've taken so many of them. But we take an emergency, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin E, you name it, we take them. Oh yeah, and I got cough drops. I got one in my mouth so I won't cough in the mic tonight. So anyway, Paul, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me right here. I've been sitting here for 4 weeks waiting for a show.
Paul's a young man.
Yeah, Paul was a young man back then.
He's fired.
Yeah, I was young when I started it. I had dark hair when I started.
That's funny right there. Paul got Al sitting there waiting on a woman, but he was waiting on Russ.
Yeah. Anyway, you can find me here on Saturday night. You can find me on YouTube or what's that other one? Instagram. You can find me on there. And I've been kind of lax watching Al's show, but he's been sick anyway. So
yeah, I haven't streamed the last 2 Sundays.
I know.
Wow.
I waited a whole day.
Oh,
I just sat in front of the computer.
Yeah, we haven't been to church in 3 Sundays. We've been watching their live stream on Sunday morning here at home. So, Al, where can we find you? Kilroy, 79763. Oh, you're muted, Al. You muted yourself.
Oh. 79763. Odessa Woodworking Maker Shop, just for fun. I stream on Twitch, 2 p.m. Sunday at Kilroy 79763. Just find me. Just search for Kilroy 79763, and you'll find me every
3 p.m. real time.
Just like 2 p.m. Central, real time, right?
Yes. Jim.
Jim Bashir's Driveway Workshop. I was looking at my Winter Blows title on there and tried to say that and shop at the same time. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm with Paul. I've just been, before Christmas, I was out in the shop every night in the cold trying to get Christmas presents done. And I was sick all through Christmas too. So I'm with Paul. I'm just sitting here only getting up to go to the bathroom, waiting for the next show. Only to be crushed on Sunday or on Saturday afternoon, knowing we wouldn't have another show this week.
Oh, trust me. My wife
had to go back on anxiety meds because of you. I just want
drama.
My wife said, "Are you going to try to do a show tonight?" I said, "I got up this afternoon for a little while," and I said, "Yeah, I think I can make it for an hour." She says, "Okay."
You just did a super chat, Russ.
Yeah, Heron Bloom.
Oh wow!
Calls.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Brian, way to go, man. Way to go.
And he also, if you go back up a few from above that, he makes a thing that says the cardiologist has started him on cardiac rehab.
Hey,
hope you're doing better.
Yeah, he had a COPD episode today and is a little under the weather, but Brian makes these neat little knives too. I call them my jail shanks, but
shank.
But they're great cutting leather.
Is that for? Oh, that's for cutting leather.
Most people would call those marking knives, but yeah, if you want to shank somebody.
Yeah, it's my shank. I love it. I love it though. Brian's very creative, and he just recently got a fiber laser and has been doing coins and stuff, and been doing some pretty neat stuff. Does carvings, is making these little banks that are post office boxes on this end. Really cool, and incorporating barrels into them and stuff. The slats from the barrels.
Awesome.
Yeah,
by the way, Aussie Man's out there. He said hi to all y'all, and he said,
"Hello, Aussie."
I'm all good now. So yeah, I know good. He was sick. Yep. Good. Jim.
I'm done.
Dixon.
All right, you did? Oh, it was Dixon. Okay, Dixon.
Hey, I'm Dixon Hoffman. You can find me at hoffmansignsanddecals.com.
And then Chris.
Again, Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. You get me on Facebook and eventually on YouTube. I'll get a video done eventually. I've only got 3 or 4 SD cards full of stuff. I need to put them together as a video.
He says,
Yeah, me too.
I had all my Christmas requests done before the 1st of December when we went down to Mexico. But I've been playing with these lately. Mounting deer heads.
Yeah. That's just awesome. That's just awesome.
Rudolph.
now you said those are dog toys, or they have no body, they're just a head?
Yeah, and they had a dog string on it, like gripping it with the teeth. But they don't like
That's creative.
Home Depot.
That's
I
creative.
like that. Yeah, I like that.
I've already got a request for 2 pairs for next year. I got to find these things. So,
Yeah, that's going to be the problem. You might have to buy the whole Rudolph and his head off.
I'll go there if I have to, but I'll avoid it if I can. Matter of fact, my wife's already found a few on Amazon, so see how many we can get at one shipment.
Yeah, you throw them in the garbage and it'll arrest you for deer carcasses.
Right? Exactly, for poaching.
Yeah, because they're supposed to have the head attached.
Right.
Is
The funny
it
thing is,
deer
I thought
season?
of it at the store, and I immediately thought of that project, doing it right away. And while I was mounting it, I just couldn't get it to sit right. So I did a quick Google search on the makers. There's some guy out there about 5 or 6 years ago was doing that with stuffed animals. Like,
Wow.
damn, he beat me to it. So, but I got a better way to mount it out of him. So
Heirloom Game Call said his O2 levels have come up. That's good.
Yeah.
My son Cameron with this flu thing it went into pneumonia in his lungs, and his O2 dropped down into the 80s, and that's when I took him to the ER, and then they admitted him with a pneumonia. So
His was 88 this morning.
yeah, that's not good. Anytime your oxygen levels drop down below 90, there's not a good reason for that. So they had him on oxygen right off the bat when he went in because he was struggling to breathe, and even with oxygen, they couldn't get his O2 levels out of the 80s.
Yeah,
Pure oxygen.
87 is what he went down to. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good. I'm glad you're keeping an eye on it though, because but I think didn't he just get out of heart surgery?
He got out of the hospital. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought I'd read that. Well, that's crappy. I haven't done anything basically since right between Christmas and New Year's before I got sick. And matter of fact, I got to work with, if I'm feeling better tomorrow, I got to work with my printer and get it back up and running. Matter of fact, this is done just between Christmas and New Year's. It's the last thing that I have printed. It's DTF. You're supposed to print something at least every day, which mine hasn't printed. And I got sick Thursday, which was let's go back to December. I got sick on the 29th, and here it is the 6th. So this was the last thing I printed. It's a cross covered in flowers. I thought this thing was beautiful when I seen it.
Nice.
I'm like,
Make it big,
Yeah.
Russ, if you don't mind.
yeah, I can. But yeah, when I seen this, I was like,
Neat.
yeah, it is. I put it on a towel already and working on that. But yeah, I thought, wow, that looks nice. I'm gonna have to get that. And so I put it on a towel, and it looks beautiful on the towel. The towel is actually a light brown, but since the cross in the middle is brown, it sets right in that towel beautifully.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, Jimbo's out there, and he says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, and a great Saturday. And no worries about being late. Hey, it's better to be late than not at all."
Yeah.
Welcome, Jimbo.
I take that back. That's not on the last thing I printed. It was this too. I printed a combination. This is the floral design that I chose to surround the cross, like put in all 4 corners of the towel, so to speak. So I printed these two. Actually, I printed a full page of them and cut the other ones out.
Just a question. Did you print something every day? And I think the answer is no. so
No.
that the printer wouldn't get clogged up, et cetera. Remember
No.
how we were talking about it? Yeah. So it still survived when you got back to it.
No, I haven't gotten back to it. I'm supposed to get. I'm going to try tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. I just wondered.
Yeah. No, I want to try tomorrow to work with it and see if I can get it printing.
Yeah. And that's the question I've got.
Yeah. It's probably going to take a little bit, some head cleaning and some flushing and printing, just to get it to going. And so I don't expect it to work that quick, but I'll get it up and running. I
hope it
mess
does.
around with it. Yeah.
I hope it does.
I'll mess with it tomorrow and get it back up and running. And then I'll print a couple of things and then get back into printing something once a day. Like I said, the good thing about DTF, and you can do this on sublimation, is that you can store the prints. Once you print them and once you put the plastic on them and once they dry and cure for a day or so, you can get a file folder and put them in there and mark them Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's and all the different types and for the next year. So whenever somebody says, you can do a portfolio when somebody says, I want this on a shirt, you already have it printed. So that's what I'm hoping to work out. And I might even try printing a couple of things on it and put them on mugs just to see how. I've never done a mug with one of them. I've done the sublimation, which is this. I've done the sublimation, which turns out beautiful on the mugs, but I'm going to try to do a DTF print.
So drive to success.
Yep. So, Paul, you been doing anything?
I've been making a sign for my great grandson that go over his bed with his name on it.
Ah, cool.
But it's been kind of slow. It's holidays mess me up every year as far as getting anything done. And I got a new laser. Huh?
You doing it laser, CNC, or
CNC? CNC. And I'm making it out of rigid foam.
Ah.
So that if
how's that working?
So good. So that if it falls on them, it won't hurt them.
Yeah.
But then I bought a new laser and I've been messing around with that. I haven't made anything with it yet other than just, playing around with these things.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say you won a new laser?
No, I bought a new laser.
Oh, you bought one.
Yeah. Is it a diode?
I bought a Creality.
Oh, that's right.
240 watt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You did say that.
Cool.
Yes. Yes. I knew that.
I didn't. And if you told me, I wouldn't have remembered.
Yeah.
Well, I almost didn't myself, but that was 3-4 weeks ago, right, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it because there wasn't any show, but
right.
Yeah.
I told you.
It's not a slam, Russ. That's not a slam.
No,
okay.
No. I question for you. So what you're going to do? You're going to do rigid foam. You're going to put his name into it, and then what do you?
I got rigid foam, and it's the backing of it is 6 feet long and about 14 inches high, and then I cut out the letters, and the letters are 12 inches high, and I'm
there. You go.
Affix them to the front.
Right.
And I'm just waiting to hear from my granddaughter what color she wants it, so I was going to have her paint it, but I figured Easter would get here before she'd ever get it painted. So
so you're going to just paint the rigid foam with acrylic paint, water-based paint?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Sounds great.
Paul, I've been accused of, you won't get it done till Easter by my own sister.
Yeah.
I tell her, because the other people pay me. You don't.
Yeah. My children tell me when they want me to make something, they ain't worried about it until for at least 6 months. They know I ain't going to get to it.
I put them on the list, but the only one that goes to the top of the list, if AB walks out here right now and says, I need you to make this, everything else is on hold.
Yep.
Well, you can't do stuff around the house in woodworking too.
Right.
No.
This is the
one
who provided this workshop. So
yeah.
So I'm not going to screw with that deal.
What was I going to say? I thought of something else. Oh, real quick, drop this in here. Nancy's niece had a stroke. She's in her 40s.
Wow.
And, yeah. Apparently, she's been dealing with high blood pressure, and I don't know the whole story. I know she's been to the doctor, but I guess they weren't treating her right or doing right or whatever. But yeah, this high blood pressure caused a brain bleed, and they have gotten it under control. So now they feel that it's just a matter of, I don't know if you know this or not, but anytime you bleed in the brain, as long as it don't get too much where it clots, the brain will absorb it. So they don't feel that hers is going to be a problem, and it will absorb back in. Now it's just a matter of her going through rehab. So yeah, she's in her 40s. So check, just as a notice out there, because I watch mine at my age. Keep track of your blood pressure, because it gets out of control. There's some certain warning signs: headaches, feeling of fatigue, like you want to take a nap a lot. Those are some of the
That's
signs.
old age. That's old age, Bruce. Come on. You want to take a nap all the time?
No, it goes with blood pressure too.
We got to come up with a new phrase other than old age. I'm starting to think.
And lay in my chair. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Paul. I would too. Al, you been doing anything different?
The last 2 weeks, I worked on the front end of my car and did one of those grandson or grandkid signs. That's pretty much all I was able to do, because I was sick too. And still am. I'm still not 100%, and I probably won't ever be 100%.
Replaced pretty well everything on the front end of that thing.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't replace was the rack. It's already been aligned, and actually, it's nice and stiff. It makes me feel like when it was brand new, and the thing's 20 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No. New parts will definitely make a difference. That's for sure.
That's pretty common in a front rack like that, though.
Oh yeah.
Overage, they get loose and floppy. Then you put new parts in them, and they're nice and stiff again.
And I've heard that front end on that Mustang is really crappy. It's not the best front end. But fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it goes out the door. I want to see that rolling.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously that's because he drove it to get it aligned.
This is the red one, though. Yeah. I've used it to go to work a couple of times too.
Cool.
I can take a picture if you want me to, Chris. I mean,
I believe it.
I had to tell it Jack, but he got to work.
Let's go back to that. Does the AC and stuff work?
Yeah. In fact, I recharged it this last because it sat in my garage for about a year and a half, because I wasn't using it. I was using a truck and this and that. But anyway, I recharged the AC system. It cost $58 for a bottle like this, and didn't even use the whole thing, because they said don't overcharge it either. You got to go. And it's been going great actually.
Good, awesome.
But that's what I've been doing.
Jim,
I just charcuterie boards, toys. What else did I make? Frank Lloyd Wright, walnut napkin holders. What else did I try to jam in there in a week? I don't know. They're just stuff for Christmas presents for everybody. Pens, seam rippers.
So you haven't been doing anything at all, huh, Jim?
No, I haven't been doing a thing.
Wow.
The only thing I got out of it was cold and the flu from being out in the 30 degrees in the garage.
Yeah.
Humidity.
Did you get sick too or not?
Oh yeah, I was sick.
Oh yeah.
All through Christmas. We had a week off in between like Christmas and New Year's, and I was sick for 2/3 of it probably.
Wow. Do you know how healthy I feel when I listen to you guys?
Yeah.
Two things. James Parker said, I have a friend who wants to give me a CNC machine. What would I like to know and how hard it is to learn to run it? First, you need to know what software they're using to run your CNC machine. It could be several of them. But once you learn or find out what the software is, all I can tell you, or the best thing to tell you, is go on YouTube and start watching lots and lots of videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
that's
not hard. It's not hard.
No, it's not. You got to start remembering the X, Y, and Z axis and depth of cut. Rate of cut is for you don't want it to cut too fast and you don't want it to cut too slow. There's a speed, but most bits have a rate when you buy them that you can find out that will tell you what their cutting speed works best at. But that also depends on how strong your router is. So you'll have to do some test cuts with it and see. But yeah, you're just gonna have to learn the software and watch plenty of videos. That's all I can tell you, because once like Lightburn's different from my CNC software, but I know enough about software now between running several machines over the years, like 3D printing and stuff like that, which is all compiled together in my mind. So it helps me learn a lot more. If you're just starting out, it's going to take you a while to learn it. But the best thing to do is watch YouTube videos. Yeah. And then like I said, start reading up on bits. Mana is probably one of the best bit to buy, but there's several other good ones out there too. But a Mana is very expensive. You get what you pay for. They last for a long time and it cut really, really nice. But you can buy some cheaper bits to start off with. As a matter of fact, I'd probably recommend that. Just to start. Yeah. Don't invest a lot of money into it until you learn it, because you don't want, the last thing you want to do is mess up a $80 or $100 bit when you can go out there and buy one for 15 and use it and start learning.
You can get 4 for 15 sometimes. I mean, they're real cheap. Just to get out there and cut.
Just to learn.
And
I got a nice Freud bit set for Christmas.
Yeah, those are good
I
bits.
misplaced my other one. So the CNC turned into a workbench. I haven't used it for.
It's called a horizontal surface, and not like everybody here knows what a horizontal surface is.
And then before we get to Dixon, I was going to do Heirloom Gate calls. He said he had his aortic valve replaced. TVAR.
Talking about that. He had his done the same way I had mine done, where they go up through your groin and up into your heart and replace the valve.
That's amazing. That is amazing. He said, I felt better as soon as I woke up. Wow.
You know, I wondered, I thought they would go in through your stomach, because I've always heard that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I really thought,
right.
Makes sense to me.
That only works with food.
Okay.
I heard this Heirloom Game calls. He said light burn for fiber is different from regular light burn. I've heard that it wasn't the same. Well, it's a different machine, so that would make sense.
Sure, it's got to be different.
It'd be a different controller, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fiber operates on frequency, right?
Yep, it goes so fast back and forth.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I want to get one. I might get one this year. We'll see. Dixon, what have you been doing?
I've been working on my railroad layout. If I didn't have that, I'd go nuts in the winter. So I go crazy with that. I only worked on it now last winter and this winter. Sometime I'll have to hook my camera on my laptop and walk down there and show it to you.
There you go.
We'd like to see that.
I bet there'd be a whole show, Dixon.
I print this gondola just to see how it would come out. It turned out really nice.
Oh yeah.
With an FDM printer, the whole works is laying down flat, so I got the wheels and everything right here. But just to do it, just to see how well it would print. And
now is that printed in one piece?
FDM printer. What's that?
Is that printed in one piece?
No, the pieces were all laying down flat.
Oh,
That's how you can get these nice ribs and everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
See, that bottom was flat, and now it makes all them nice grooves, and then you just glue the sides together.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks great.
Yeah.
Did you design all those
shot with the resin printer?
Did you design those yourself?
This one, no. This was all done for me. I didn't have to design it.
Well,
so I wanted to test run it, because many times you get prints and they're not. You got to recat them, do them over, because they're not. They're not right.
Yeah, that flashlight print you had.
That I designed. That whole works. That I did. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we're
I designed all of
the one
that.
you were gonna give us all the
Yeah,
information on
we're
that.
still
Here he
waiting on
goes.
that.
I'll
Make
send you
some
who
and
wants
send
that.
it to us?
I'll send the files to whoever wants it. I'll
I
bet
want it.
anybody. I'll bet anybody $50 you don't print it.
I want it
Okay.
whether I print it
All
or
right.
not.
All right.
All
I
right,
won't
I'll
print
send it to you because I rode that wave. I'm done selling them, so I'll print it if you want. I'll
So can
send
we
you the
sell
file.
them then?
I'll send you the file. The STL. The good thing is it's going to work right away.
Cool.
There you go.
That's what I'm hoping. Instead of waiting on a woman or waiting on Russ, now it's waiting on Dixon.
Russ is going to go snake hunting in the Everglades with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't
Alligator.
know if I would. I don't know if I want to go snake hunting. I wouldn't mind go gator hunting.
Gator hunting.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
I'd rather go python hunting. Than,
They got a lot of meat on them.
Yeah, you get more money.
yeah,
out
and
of
they'll
them,
dump it right on top of you and twist you till you're dead.
Well, you don't plan on getting in the water with them.
You know,
Oh,
hook
no,
them in the boat, and then you got a pistol with you or a gun.
Well, you shoot them before you bring them in the boat. I've been watching me
yeah.
and Cameron when I was at the hospital. He put it on the TV channel, and I think it was Discover, but it had the Louisiana Bayou Gator Hunters.
Yeah, swamp people.
Yeah, swamp people, and they were out there hunting them, and they can bait them. You can't bait them in Florida. You have to either catch them with a line and like a rod and reel, like you try to catch a shark with, or you got to shoot them and then get them up, because a gator is, when he's shot, he don't take long and he'll sink. He will not float. So you got to get to him quick once you shoot him to get him out of the water. Otherwise, you'll lose him once he goes down. And you get tags, and the state of Florida actually pays you to shoot them, and then you can get rid of the hide or the meat however you want. You can sell it, but they actually pay you because we're now getting to a point we're getting overpopulated. So they sell so many tags every year for people to go out and hunt. And we watched that, and it was actually kind of fun. But they get to bait them. They take a big old hook and put a piece of chicken on it. And they actually let the chicken sit out for a day or so before they put it out, because they want it to smell real good, because the gator can smell. And he'll come along and get that piece of chicken and get hooked. And then they come along and they leave like a color or whatever color they're given. They have tags too. But they have, like, one guy had a purple streamer that he hung down from the tree to let him know that was his line. And then he just go in there and pull it up to the edge of the boat. The other guy shoot him in the head, and they drag it in. So it was pretty fun. And one guy worked by himself. He pulled him up, shot him, and he had an actual pole winch on the side of his boat. He'd swing over to the side and hook him up to the hoist and winch him in the boat. So it was pretty fascinating to watch that kind of stuff.
Not for the gator.
Gator wasn't having too much fun at all. They had the longest one that they caught. They had a series of where they were in a contest, these 4 or 5 people, and one guy, like I said, was by himself. But the one team won and caught an 11-foot 1-inch gator.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, he'd eat you whole without a heart. I mean, not even thinking about it. His head was a good 18 inches wide.
So that's true down in Florida. If you get in a car accident, you don't want to slide way into the ditch in the swamp, right?
Right.
Nope.
Because they say people,
especially if your windows are rolled down.
yeah, they say people get eaten up like that.
Yeah.
I went to a refinery in Louisiana one time, and we're walking from the refinery area down this dirt road, and the Mississippi River was right off to the left of us, and there was like a ditch and a little bit of flat area, then the river, but you couldn't see it for trees. And we're walking down to their water treating plant, and the guy says, "Don't walk too close to the edges of the roads because the alligators will jump up and grab you and drag you into the ditch."
Yeah,
and then I get to the control room, and there's like about 6 settling basins, ponds where they just let dirt drop out of the water and stuff. And these guys would bring whole chickens in and throw them into the settling ponds to get the alligators to keep from going in them all the time because they didn't want to get sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not uncommon. We've got several pictures around here recently, especially during the mating season, for a gator to be on the prowl. There's been several pictures lately of them being on the golf course.
Yep.
Hanging out on the green. And there was one this lady saw. She took a video of it with her phone. We have the nature trails that you can go walking in, and really nice. They keep them mowed and everything else, but it's still, there's ponds in there, and where there's water, there's gators. And she took a picture of at least a 12 to 15 footer crossing the trail going from one pond to another, and he's just slowly moving along, and it's like, yeah, I think I'll go the other way.
Give him a wide berth.
Yep. So he was blocking the whole path.
See you later.
Paul.
See you, Paul. Talk to you
Yeah,
later.
he was blocking the whole path. I was like, it was incredible to watch that big sucker cross. Chris, I don't think you showed to everybody that you were doing what you were doing, but what are you doing?
Really,
Yeah,
just
Chris has
resetting
been
the shop.
switching.
Now that we've been here long enough, I think I finally found where everything's going to be positioned and staying. So, but that's really all I'm doing since I got everything done for Christmas before the 1st of December. And I stopped taking orders and requests after that. So
Cool.
but,
Show your hit. Yeah.
These
He's
are
poaching.
dog toys.
Yeah.
In fact, I get the rope around here somewhere from them. But cut the rope off, mount it on a plaque. Yeah, something to mount on your wall.
That's cool. I like that.
This is Rudolph. I got Clarice over there somewhere. So
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
it's a fun little one-day project.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah, I'll probably do another one, try to do a video of it. I know I keep saying that, but I'll get one done. I do have a new cordless mic, and I've been having a static problem with it. It could be dead quiet everywhere, and I'm still getting static on the connection. So I was talking to a friend of mine who does a lot of videos, and he says, are you using a video camera or a DSLR? I said, video camera. He goes, that's your problem.
I've heard of that.
I'll set up a DSLR.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I beg to differ, because on and I have the same, I think, cameras that you have. I'll have to get the name of the mic that I've been using. I haven't had that problem with static
Really?
in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been fighting with it. As a matter of fact, I started using 2 cameras. So luckily I did that. I had video and voice on the other camera too. So maybe I can pull something together between the 2 now. But we'll see. Other than that, not much really. Trying to get started on some new projects. That's all.
Heirloom Games Hall said color engraving on stainless steel. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he did some coloring today or yesterday. He actually got different colors and stuff to come up. That is really cool.
He said, I sent you a picture, Russ, at contest at email. Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, he saw Heirloom Games Hall, so creators would bellow to call a girlfriend. Yeah, they'll make noises to call a girlfriend. Yep. But yeah, during mating season, they're on the prowl. They'll actually come up and try to seek other water especially if they're in water where no females at, they'll seek other water to try to find females. And you don't want to get in their path. And by the way, a gator for approximately 20 or 30 foot can outrun a human.
Oh yeah, they can go 30 miles an hour. Yeah.
Yep. So I would keep that kind of a distance thought when you're like taking pictures and wanting to get up close and personal. Yeah, because he turns around. But let's put it this way. It's going to take you 3 to 4 seconds, maybe even 5 seconds to react to his movement to decide that you need to run. So therefore, he's already got the jump on you. So at least if you're 20 or 30 foot away from him, by the time he turns, you got a head start.
Yeah.
So
You only have to sprint faster than your buddy for about 5 seconds.
Yep. But at 20 or 30 foot, if he gets a hold of you, you're dead meat.
That's why when you're with your buddies, that's when you got that trip and run rule.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to do that when I bait bear for the father-in-law.
Yeah.
Trip
Or
over.
either that or stand a little behind him so you can shove him forward and run.
I just
don't
go out in
have
the
to
woods
be-
with people that are overweight and out of shape.
You don't have to be faster than the creatures that are coming after you. You just have to be faster than your friends. That's it.
Mhm.
Oh, I know we got on this subject and it's not anything to do with woodworking, but I saw a video and I traced it down to make sure it was true, that it wasn't something fake and it was actually true. But it's some wildlife preserve like over in Africa or where they actually, you drive through the preserve and the animals and they tell you don't get out of the car or whatever, roll down your windows. This lady, there's a lion that's sitting laying on the side of the road. This lady gets out of her car and walks up to the lion within like 5 feet of the lion to take a picture. And he jumps up and grabs her and starts pulling her away. And the husband jumps out to try to help her and he swats him out of the way without any problem. 2 or 3 other people come up, but it's too late. He's done got her and dragging her off. They ain't no way they can catch her. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Did it take, are you that stupid?
You know that lion got home that night and told his wife, "You wouldn't believe the stupidness going on out there."
Yeah. This meal walked right up and gave itself to me.
Maybe he went there. Maybe he went there for a reason. Honey, let's go for a ride.
Right? Let's go hunting. Let's go hunting. honey.
There's a lion. Go take a picture of it.
Let's go for a ride. You got your camera?
Yeah.
I hear they're pretty friendly this time of year.
At what point do you just have to thank her for deepening the gene pool out there?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Not my
There's
idea.
got to be a point there.
I got this laying up here. I made this. I think it was last year. I think I've shut it off too. But on my laser, I made a bunch of these. Actually, I made some of them for my kitchen. And I had, actually, people wanting them. But this is just that thin plywood that I was telling you about, Jim. That 1/4 inch that I get from Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
It's that plywood that I cut 1/4 inch, and then I made the scallops, but also had the laser burn the edges to make the edges more pronounced. And then this is actually cut out by itself, and I actually glue it too with super glue to the front of this. And the board is whitewashed. Matter of fact, some of the blacks coming off of the laser engraving part.
See,
But
you could try that with your 3D printer too now, and it would work. That letters and everything.
It would work. It would work. But these turned out very well. I used the 3M stick thingies.
Oh yeah,
on the back of them from the wall.
That works.
I've grown to like those. They hold pretty good. And then if you want to take it off, you can pull it off the Velcro and then pull the back off, and you can use them 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
But it makes it easier to position, and it doesn't mess up. You ain't got to have holes in your wall. So the whitewash is just exactly what it is. I took some white acrylic paint and I thinned it with water. Yep, till I got the consistency that I wanted, and put it on there and let it dry. And then once it dries, I don't remember. I don't think this one. Yeah, it does. I can tell it now when I hold it up to the light. It does have a coat of lacquer on it on top of that. And I think the reason I put the lacquer is because of the edges and everywhere that's burnt, so it doesn't flake off, which some of it did. But yeah, I did that on the laser. I made a bunch of them. Thankful, grateful, blessed. I did. We're above our upper cabinets where we keep our spices. I put like spices, and I put like thyme and oregano on the words on each side of it. Now the words weren't on a plaque, just the spices was on a plaque. And then above the pantry, I put pantry. And also I put, for my wife, I put Mom cooks around here or something, some kind of saying like that. Mom's the best cook.
Your mom don't live here, pick up after yourself, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mom doesn't work here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's laser's pretty nice. I got to get back out there and play with it a little bit. I'm hoping and praying I'll get better. There's got to be an end to this road.
Will all those lasers engrave into a stone?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. And even the most lower ones, the 20 watts and stuff, will engrave into stone. Now you're not. I have never. It'll actually engrave tile too.
Yeah.
Now my 20 watt.
Yeah, mine
I've
does.
had my 20 watt engrave on tile. What I did was to make the tile nice. Is I took and put a piece of that adhesive paper over it.
Yeah.
And then I engraved it, and I turned it up pretty high so it engraved fairly deep. And then I painted the inside of those letters with acrylic paint. And then after that dried, I peeled back the paper. And if there was any bleed through onto the tile, it's easy to clean up if it's acrylic. And you can do tiles. They look really good. 4x4s, 4x6s. They look really nice. You can just hang them on the wall. I took a gator hanger, the one that has the teeth.
Yeah.
And I epoxied it to the back of the tile with epoxy. And it's still hanging on the wall.
Huh.
But yes, stone. I've never tried marble, but I've done some stone, like what they call the river rock, because they're worn smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried those. They work great. We've
been thinking about getting one of those bigger ones made for the front of the house with the address on it.
With the CO2, you can engrave slate also. And glass.
And glass.
Yep.
Now on glass, you're going to need something that's dark to coat it with, like a Surmark, or there's black
for the diode.
Yeah, and for the diode too. Yes, both of them.
Because the CO2 will just engrave without coating it, without doing anything.
No, it won't. Not clear glass. It goes right through it.
Mine does.
Yours will. Mine won't. It'll go right through the glass and not even engrave it. That's weird. Maybe it's a different frequency as far as the laser. I know their frequencies.
I don't know, but the focal point is the key, I guess. I don't know.
I'll have to try that because I put some black molly lube, which is in a spray can. Because you get a can about 4 or 5 inches tall and maybe 1 inch in diameter of Surmark, which is what they sell for engraving on glass.
Yeah,
with
this stuff right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I bought the black molly lube from reading through the laser forums on Facebook and sprayed it on there. It worked just the same way. And I can buy a big can, like a spray paint can color of black molly, for like $15.
Yeah, and this stuff here is $24.
Yeah.
This size right here of Surmac.
Yep.
Galvanized spray paint works good too.
Yeah, I heard that. I hadn't tried that, but I heard the galvanized.
That's what I've tried.
That's what I did here. I forgot about this sign that I made for my son. That's wood, 3D printed stuff, and then the metal is that galvanized paint you're talking about. See how it looks real fancy?
Now wait a second. Dustin Hoffman?
Dustin's my son.
Yeah.
That's
his last name's Hoffman?
Iron Dungeon. That's an outline of him. And then I put the weights in between on the outside.
Oh.
But it's got a metal bottom, and it's got a wood trim, and then the rest of it is 3D printed.
Cool.
Nice.
It looks like
he still hasn't got what you're going for, Paul.
He didn't. He didn't.
No. What did you say again?
Wait a second. His first name's Dustin, Mr. Hoffman.
Yeah, I got
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Your son's that Dustin Hoffman, and he lets you live there.
Right
here.
There you go.
He's pretty old. He's pretty old now.
Yeah, he's getting old.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if y'all knew it, but back in November, we hadn't said anything to each other because I've been so sick a lot. But Bob Barker finally passed away.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought he was 10 years ago. I thought he passed away.
No, it was just this year, right?
It's got to be almost 100.
Tina Turner passed away.
Tina Turner passed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark Rubin.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Pee Wee Herman died.
Yeah.
It's been a tough year for celebrities.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman was a wanker. He just wanked too much.
We lost Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. In fact, there were several, 4 or 5 different.
Right back to back. Right
Yeah,
to back.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
Glad I'm not
He was young.
Yeah, he was. He passed, we were in Alabama for the meeting of the minds. It was like a giant wake. Everybody's telling stories about concerts and meeting Jimmy and this and that stuff. It was a tough week.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was good to be with your own people. So,
yeah. Oh, I love Jimmy Buffett. Yeah.
I've been listening to him since the 70s.
Yep. I've listened to him all my life. Trust me.
His last album is that I just got. There was such a hot item to get.
One of my favorite songs was "Living on
Margaritaville."
Yeah, but it was "Living on what is it?
Sponge cake.
Living on
I thought it was fun. Yeah, watching the sun bake. All those tourists covered with oil, playing my 6-string on a front door swing.
That's Margaritaville.
Yeah.
It was sponge cake.
Margaritaville.
It's what?
4 mile shaker of salt. Somebody, after he passed away, put a salt shaker in the sand and took a picture of it and said, "I found it."
Yeah. But we finally got the album. It's called "Equal Strain on All Parts." It's a great album. I've accused him of a few albums of just mailing it in just to sell albums. This one is some really masterful pieces of work in it.
Yeah, fins. I got sharks on the left of me, sharks on the right.
Russell, you're naming all the ones we call the training album.
Yeah.
We give it to new parents so they can learn the words. But
we've been to 2 of his restaurants. Oh, one at Universal Studios. He had a restaurant at Universal Studios, and the food was fantastic. And then when me and my wife went to Vegas on one of our trips to Vegas, we discovered a Jimmy Buffett restaurant in Las Vegas, by George. And we went to that one for lunch one day. So
I'm not allowed to go in there anymore. Every time I go in there, I wind up staying 5, 6, 7 hours.
Yeah.
I was there with a business trip for my wife. She was on business. I was just tagging along and supposed to have dinner with her that night, and I completely missed it.
Uh-oh.
Mommy calls me. She says, "Are you still at the bar?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been leaving." You've been leaving for 2 hours.
Another one, Lynn's or Harlem Game calls was throwing out there. He goes masking tape and burn through that to engrave on glass. And also, I've heard Dawn dish soap on glass will work.
I haven't tried that yet.
Gotten lucky. I guess I must have gotten lucky.
Yeah, well, I know without a shadow of doubt. I don't know if you want to call them frequencies or wavelengths, but there's different wavelengths of lasers, and their wavelength does make a difference as far as it doesn't matter if it's CO2 or what. There's still different.
Yeah. I was gonna say this one's CO2.
But they're all not the same frequency. That's the reason when I bought my glasses, you're supposed to find out what the frequency is or whatever, so you can buy your glasses to match it.
Yeah. I don't have glasses.
No, I keep my door shut, so I'm not worried about it.
It's just shut. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, man, I tell you, it doesn't like it when you open that door up. It shuts everything down. I mean,
unless you bypass them.
I had to put tape over my fire switch on mine because every time I open a garage door, the sun would shut the laser off.
Oh, really?
I give up on this thing. I just put duct or electrical tape over it. And then I had to go in the G code, the startup code, and tell it to disable the fire sensor.
Oh, no.
Jim, do you have room to build a separate little room in your garage?
I have a separate room in my garage. It's full of junk.
Well, just exhaust it. Just exhaust
it out and make it your dark space. That's all.
It's going bye-bye this year. So I figure if I can get my old office cleaned out, I could put my lasers and my ENC back there and the 3D printing stuff. Then I can get it out of the basement.
It'll never be enough room, Jim.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Nope.
I have to work with what I've been given now.
Yeah. There's never enough room. I've got,
I've only got a 40 by 20 garage. That's all I've got to work with.
my shop's full. This room is 24, I think, by 36. It's slap full of all my stuff.
Yep.
And then I got the side awning that's got stuff underneath it. So, yeah. Plus, I got a warehouse. I rent. I mow the lady's lawn next door. When my friend David moved out, he built a 2-car garage out back, and she don't use it. She parks underneath the overhang. He's got a 2-car overhang. She don't go use the garage. So we were talking one day, and I said, she about mowing her lawn. She's not capable of it anyway. But anyway, I told her I'd mow her lawn for her if she would let me use her place for storage. So I moved a bunch of stuff over there just to get it out of my shop.
Yeah.
So that tells you how much stuff I got. Well, all the car stuff's over there. The acetylene torch, the engine lift, all that stuff's over there in her garage because I'm not into the car stuff anymore. As a matter of fact, my wife even said the other day, I need to go through it and sell it. And I think I am.
Yeah.
I don't need that stuff.
I went from a 10 by 20, what used to be a carriage house in New England, where my tools would overlap. I'd have to get to the miter saw. I ran the board that way over the table saw and under the drill press. So, and
right.
Now we got 2-car garage and I'm running out of space already.
Right. I've got a 3 double height and I've been out of space forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it set up that everything can move to the side if we have to move the car in here for any reason.
Well, I've been doing casters. Casters are my friends.
Casters.
Oh yeah. I never thought about that, but we bought some when we had the race car because our overhang was I did an awning overhang and we worked on them underneath there. It was kind of narrow. So to give us space to get to the sides, I put the car on casters and you could just push it to one side. You could work on the light.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've got these I'm going to call them dollies that'll sit up underneath the tires.
Yep.
And they've got 4 little wheels on them and man,
we could push it and work on the driver's side, or we could push it back up to the wall on the other side and work on the passenger side. So.
Yep.
Everybody knows that the casters are pretty cheap at Harbor Freight. Yeah,
yes.
When they're cheaper, buy the furniture dollies and take the casters off.
Yeah,
that's what I learned. They put their furniture dollies on sale for $697. Well, heck, one caster $697.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done that numerous times. So.
Yep, I have too.
Now I'm out of dollies now, so got to get some more.
Yep.
See you, Jimbo. I guess Jimbo left.
All right. See you, Jimbo.
Oh, that Jimbo.
I think that was a while back.
I'm looking at Jim right here. I said, no, he didn't. He's right there.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a while. Not too long ago. Probably within the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Driveway wood shark. Jim, our Jim says it's his problem is too much wood. Yeah.
Way
That's
too
what
much
she
wood
said.
to store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go with the easy jokes.
That's what she said.
Yep.
Might be dumb, but you got to take the easy jokes too.
I put the fiber in my woodshed. It's air cooled and no tube, so it's best there. Oh, so by being air cooled, you don't have to have a water chiller. In other words, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's his fiber laser.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that the fiber lasers didn't, or I thought maybe they might need.
I wasn't certain myself, but.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Your K40 stay in the garage, Jim?
I talked to Tim Sway because Tim's got that big thunder laser or whatever it is. And his shop's not heated until he goes out in the morning and gets there and throws wood in the stove. But he said he puts some antifreeze in his coolant. He never has any problem with it. So
yeah, I'll give you another idea. Electric blanket.
Yeah.
And there's an electric blanket happening in that garage. It's going on me.
No, I'm serious. I read several people that they keep their chiller up against the laser, so it's close, right up against it, and they just throw an electric blanket over the laser and make sure it's going down over the side where the chiller is, and turn it on, and boom.
You know, I could probably get a heat wrap for the bucket that the water and stuff is underneath the table.
Yeah.
And just let it run all the time. But, you know, then if I lose power or something out there, I've lost a tube.
Well,
I'm
like I said,
that little piece of junk apart next year anyway and make it bigger. I'm going to buy some slide rails. And actually, I got, what I do, leave them upstairs. Yeah, probably.
Jim?
Yeah.
Make sure you don't use regular antifreeze.
Yeah.
You use
Tim said that. Tim did say that.
Antifreeze. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it different?
Now, yes.
A fiber laser is nothing than a solid state. It's a solid state.
Most antifreezes are actually kind of corrosive and would not work well with the laser. And but you can there's like RV antifreeze, I heard, but it's the one that's for potable water. And there's also like water that you would put this antifreeze in water that you wanted to use to wash your hands or
deionized.
Yeah.
And
another thing that I know too is I bought the aquarium fungicide, a very large bottle of it, and I put a little bit every so often in my water tank of my chiller and let it circulate. And I have had no problems with fungi at all. And I've had mine for about 2 years now and never changed the water. It's still the same water from day one. I've had to add water to it, but I've never changed it. I just keep a few drops of the fungicide in it.
See, regular antifreeze is conductive. So when you have a laser going, it electrifies it and it actually interacts with it too.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That's why you shoot.
You'll have laser beams shooting out the side of the laser.
I don't know exactly, but I know that it is conductive. So because the laser stuff is non-conductive.
Does it short the tube against the frame?
It might. Yeah, it might. I mean, if it's conductive, you know.
Well, you got
only the connector, because it's like 30,000.
Yeah,
the tube, the gas tube is in the center, and then the outside that's like a pigtail, but then the outer sheath is separate from that inner tube, and that's where the coolant goes to keep it from running away. But you got
the high voltage in the end of it.
Yep.
How far out is that going? Does it just excite the laser?
Yep.
Then the photons go off the front of it for the light.
Yes.
And then all of that high energy stays in the end of the tube.
Yep. It
wouldn't. And
then that gas goes down the center, and that's that wavelength that shoots down the mirrors.
Yeah.
Fiber is just a solid laser. We have many of them down at work, and these packages go by. I mean, they go by really fast, and the fiber laser zips on a little square package. That barcode, I mean, just like that. As they're going by, it's fast.
Yeah.
We have a
bunch
of them
down at work.
Yeah.
And
I'm hoping that. Go ahead.
Russ did say that it had. I'm sitting here looking at it. RB antifreeze is made from propylene glycol, and automotive antifreeze is ethylene glycol with corrosive inhibitors, which is what Russ is saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those corrosive inhibitors are actually metallic.
Right. I'm hoping and praying my tube's still good. I haven't used it in a while. But if anything was to ever happen to my tube, mine will do more than 100 watt. I think it'll do 120. And so I'm going to see if I can get
a lot longer.
Yeah.
You should only run a CO2 laser at 80% if you want the last.
Yeah, but I'm going to go for the Gusto. Yeah. It's got two things. I can make a switch on my power supply and move it over and do 120. Yes, I will probably have to take that cover off and let it stick out, but I can make something out of a sheet metal and put over it.
Hey, wood.
Yeah. Make it out of wood. Either way, yeah.
Void your warranty, man. Cut a hole in the side of it, stick the tube out of the end like a sausage.
Oh, I'm definitely. Mine's over 2 years old. Matter of fact, this April of this year would have been 2 years, so I'm way beyond the 2 years warranty. So anything that goes on from now on is on my bill. So
mine is 30 years old, and I ran regular water through it all the time. But I think my tube back when they made them, I think they were made better back then. You know,
I wouldn't doubt that.
When I built that laser, I think that tube was made a lot better.
I've heard Cloud Ray, and there's one other company that make the best tubes on the market. And the cheap Chinese, like if I was to buy one from OM Tech, which is my laser brand, they use the cheapest tubes out there. So I'm not buying one. Now, I'm not complaining. If I haven't used mine in a few months, so if I go out there and it still works, happy.
So if it didn't freeze at all, it'll have no.
Oh, it's never gotten to below 40 degrees in Florida so far.
It'll work fine.
How long should they last?
Hey, Dixon,
I've heard 3 years. That's what I've heard, but I don't know.
It depends how often you use them, but they can last. They can last up to 10 years. It just depends if you're running them around the clock. And now you can pick them up for $500, and those lasers aren't quite as good. So, but they'll last. We're using this stuff for a hobby. They should last for
a long time.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I want to go out there and use it.
About 1,000 hours, and like what Dixon said, if you don't run it at 100%,
no, I don't run mine.
In other words, slow it down.
Well, you can go into settings and tell the controller maximum amount of power, and 80. I set mine at 80. So even if I set it on 100% light burn, it's only running 80% on the controller.
Yeah,
that was a fail safe to keep me from doing stupid stuff.
I got that. Mine, Russ, you got that brand new power supply that they put in all of them when they rebuild them from China Omtech. I still have the old solid state resistors and all of that in mine yet. Yep.
Wow.
With the big giant resistor, high voltage resistor that fried on me once because, then the parts come from China. So I went and got a real good one when Appleton Electronics was here in Appleton. That's gone now, but that one's been lasting ever since.
Yeah, mine has that new power supply. You can switch it from 120 to 240 for a European, and then you can switch it. It's actually got 3, if I'm not mistaken, settings. It's got 80 on the low end, 100 in the middle, and 120 on the high end. So the one power supply will run 80, 100, or 120 power tube. So it's a real nice power supply. I mean, it's very compact. It's only like about this big, probably about 8 inches by probably 10 inches, something like that.
Yeah. They came way down in price. Them things used to be about $600. You can get them for like $170 now. Cloud Ray is the one that makes most of them. And
I don't know how you pronounce it. What is it? Rudy controller? Rudy?
Yeah. That's your controller, your digital interface.
Yeah, I have the old one before they came out with the new one, so I still got the good one.
The Rudy is now compatible with many different lasers.
I got mine was one of the last ones they sold with that particular, and I ordered it especially with that one because they had the new ones coming out, and I'm like, no, I want the old one. So I got looked out and found it, and then that's what I got. So
Omtech has their own power supply.
Does it do the 3 power outputs by tapping the transformer in different spots to boost the voltage?
No, it's got a switch on the side of the power supply.
Yeah, I know, but that switch, is it like?
I don't know.
It's changing the taps inside the unit on the transformer. Yeah. That's what it's doing. Yep.
That's what it's doing.
That's what it's doing.
It's fully enclosed, so I haven't messed with it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all fully enclosed, but it's marked very well with all the where your wires go and everything. It's really very well marked. I was like looking at it and just well, at one time somebody told me to put a voltage meter or amp meter, whatever, to see how many amps I was actually pulling off the tube, and it wouldn't work. And so I started reading, and that particular model of power supply will not work with any other than what comes with the controller. So that was actually shutting my power supply down. I removed the amp meter or whatever from it, the voltage meter or wattage meter, and
amp. Yep.
started working just. Yep. So somehow it was messing with it, so I couldn't put it on there.
Yeah.
But it's I have to say that from day one, the tube was intact. I know a lot of people say they get broken tubes. The tube was intact, and everything worked from day one. Didn't have any problems with it, and I've been blessed because it's worked all the time. The only problem I had with it was the laser pointer went bad, and it was a loose wire, and I got it to work again. But during that period of time, I was just like took it and wound the wire up and put a thing on it to hold it up at the top of the laser just to get it out of my way so I could see how to pinpoint it and everything. And you know what? It worked so good, I haven't put it back on. Once you learn how to pinpoint that thing and you know what you're doing, you don't need that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have it fire a small one. I'll lay it all in place and I'll have it outline where it's going to work. And then I'll have it come back to home, which is I usually do the center. And then I'll just push the
fire button.
I got my fire button set low, and I'll push my fire button, and they'll put a little tiny dot in the center, and I can look at it and make sure it's there. And I'm like, yep, I got it. Let's go.
Yeah.
How do you guys keep your, like, I want to start using the center too. I usually use the bottom left side because I can take those 1, 2, 3 blocks and stick them in between the frame and the workpiece. And it usually holds it at 0, 0 right in the corner perfectly. But I want to start sliding it up in the middle. How do you guys keep it like this way instead of, you know what I mean?
I always butt it up against one of the side rails that are square, and then it has to be square. But you always do
he's talking about level this way.
You always do an outer trace, right? Before you
start?
I
do, but you never know if like the whole
you're not level.
The whole piece.
Yeah, I use a little plumber's level.
You don't want it to do this.
Yeah, I see.
I use a plumber's level, lay it on the bed and make sure it's level. Now, if the piece is warped, then you go from that.
Sometimes it matters. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it just depends.
If it's a small fluctuation, it ain't going to make that big of a difference. But I have more problems with warped wood. I have to use big magnets to hold it down because it's warped. Because here in Florida, we have so much humidity. Even if I keep the air conditioner or the dehumidifier running, we have so much humidity that sometimes that wood, when I bring it in and leave it in there for a while, what I do is I started cutting it in 2 foot by 2 foot squares mostly. I got some 3 foot by 2 foot, but I started putting it together and putting spring clamps all the way around it and laying it flat. And those spring clamps hold it all together as one big sandwich, and they seem to work better that way.
Yeah,
seem to work.
Yeah, warping lumber is a big problem down here.
Yep.
If I get new stuff, I tend to leave it on the floor with something heavy holding it down.
You have to.
Yep.
Yep, you have to. All right, guys, I'm getting kind of tired and starting to wear the day on me. It's 9:13, so we will try our best to be back next year. Put theater in the ground wire on for the tube. Okay, what does that mean? Heirloom Game Calls put theater, and it's THEATER in the ground wire for the tube.
Put the heater, maybe.
The heater.
Okay, maybe the
what
heater.
Was the question?
Yeah.
You may be saying heater.
Oh, put the heater in the ground wire.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 with any laser, you have to bond it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it grounded, it'll act funny. It'll mess it up. So I got a copper wire going from the ground up to my water pipe, and it's clamped on the water pipe. It's got to be bonded.
Yep. It makes it better.
If you've ever been bitten by a 24,000 volt color TV tube, you'll be real respectful of that laser.
No, I haven't. I've got hit by a 240 in the attic. And that I thought was going to kill me. But yeah, I can imagine it would be a little ouch.
1,500 with a high power.
Oh, I got to tell you that I got to tell this real quick. This guy posted a picture of his finger burnt from his laser, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, and it was supposedly an OM Tech 80 watt, and he was kind of describing it or whatever. I said, okay, first off, you've obviously bypassed the
safety
door thing. The
Door,
safety. That's number one. Second off, I didn't even ask him this because I didn't want to get into this discussion and cause this heated argument. Second off, were you stupid enough to be working with that thing without glasses on inside that laser cabinet? And third off, what the hell is a good reason to have your finger anywhere near that sucker when it's running?
I wanted to see what it does.
Yeah, it burns. He had a stripe from his knuckle here all the way down his fingernail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to pass that. I want to see what it does stage at around 14.
Yeah.
So
You can enjoy bacon with it.
It hurts when you got a little dot going right through your thumbnail too. That hurts.
Yeah.
right straight through too. Yeah, just
I don't
With my thumb, but through the
I
nail
can see
hurts.
through there.
I can't think of any good reason to have your hands in there when it's running. I
I-
set mine up and turn it on and let it go.
hey, then again, people pierce the weirdest things. So
You got to focus the mirrors. Focus the
Yeah.
mirrors.
But you're still doing just fire.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't have no safety shit on my doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for
Thank
being
you,
back.
Fred.
All that have showed up, I appreciate it very, very, very much. Bear with me. I'm hoping to be back next week. Still not 100%. I think I'm kicking on 70 or 80. But I will be back next week if good Lord willing the creek don't wise. Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're just too darn busy or you're lazy. So get off your butt and get out there and make some
you can be
sawdust.
sick too.
Or you can be sick. You can be sick. Let's see if I can sing. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for
Boys and
watching.
girls. And remember, you don't have to go home, but you can